One of the countless days of my journey around the world found me in the heart of the Himalayas, far from civilization, high above sea level, where the air grew thin and each breath was heavy. I sought peace and solitude. A journey that began as a search for inner enlightenment turned into something far stranger and more terrifying. That day, I deviated from the marked path. You know how it is, sometimes you just want to take a less obvious route to follow your intuition. I walked and walked until I stumbled upon something strange. An entrance to a canyon, surrounded by high cliffs, seemed to be calling me in. The air around it felt different, dense and thick, like oil. It was as if reality itself was condensing and twisting into some invisible knot. Stepping inside, I immediately felt a change. Instead of the freezing Himalayan wind, I was enveloped by heat. Warm, like on summer days when the asphalt melts under your feet and the air shimmers with heat. It was strange, but I kept going. Maybe I was imagining things? After all, at such a high altitude, your mind can start playing tricks on you. But with every step, it grew warmer. Trembling with bewilderment, I looked around but found no explanation. As I ventured deeper into the canyon, I began to notice that the laws of reality as I knew them no longer applied. The stones underfoot flowed like water. The distant mountain peaks, which I saw ahead, would sometimes move closer and then recede, as if I were looking at them through rippling glass. The sounds were different here, too silence interrupted only by strange, echoing noises I had never heard before. They were not animal cries or bird songs, but something else more ancient and primal. The sense of time disappeared as well. I had no idea how long I had been here. My watch stopped the moment I entered the canyon, and I couldn't tell if minutes, hours, or even days had passed. This strange place was pulling me in like a viscous swamp that wouldn't let me escape. I realized I was lost and began to panic. I tried to go back, but I couldn't find the way out. With every turn, with every path, I only went deeper and deeper. Panic set in. I screamed, called for help, but only my own echo returned, distorted and terrifying. And then I saw it, a shadow in the distance, something flickering. At first I thought it was just a play of light and shadow, but then I saw it again. A person, or at least something that resembled a person. Its movements were jerky, like those of a marionette manipulated by unskilled hands. I froze. Something told me that this being was watching me. It knew I was here and seemed to enjoy my confusion and fear. I tried to run, but wherever I went, this being was always nearby. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, heard its footsteps behind me. It seemed to be playing with me, luring me deeper into this strange world where the laws of reality no longer held. I lost track of time and reality. I don't know how long I've been here. Maybe a few hours. Maybe an eternity. My mind began to give way. All thoughts were jumbled in my head. I was no longer sure if I was really here. Maybe I had gone insane. Maybe I was already dead. The only thing I knew for certain was that I would never be able to leave this place. It had become my prison, and I was doomed to stay here forever, among these mountains in this heat, with this being that watched me. I realized it wasn't a dream. The mountains around me, they were alive. They breathed, they watched. I could feel their pulse beneath the ground, a faint, barely perceptible beat, like the heart of a giant creature sleeping under a thin layer of earth and stone. Now I understand these are not just rocks and canyons. They are not merely pieces of frozen earth. No, they are alive, and they want something I cannot yet comprehend. As I stared at the stone walls, I began to notice ancient signs carved into their surface. They looked like the script of a long-forgotten civilization, symbols that could have been the language of gods or demons. My fingers touched the stone, and I felt a slight tingling, as if the stone itself was vibrating in response to my touch. As I wandered through this strange place, becoming more aware of its nature, it became clear to me this was no mere canyon. It was an ancient temple, a place of worship for some forgotten beings. I could feel it. I sensed the presence of something ancient and powerful, something that had been waiting here for centuries, until I arrived. My hand trembles as I write this. I think this might be my last entry in this journal. If anyone ever finds it, if you are reading this, please beware. This place is deceptive. It lures you in and consumes you like a swamp, dragging you into its dark waters. And most importantly, beware of the watcher. I don't know what this creature is, but it's here. It's always nearby. I can feel its gaze on me, cold and piercing. I think it is watching me, studying me, like a lizard studies an insect before swallowing it. It doesn't move while you're looking at it, but the moment you turn away, it shifts, closing the distance. I've seen it through the shadows. A tall silhouette, like bones and mist, its eyes, or what passes for its eyes, are two empty black holes that swallow all light. There is nothing in them, only emptiness. The abyss. I tried not to look. I swore to myself that I would not look it in the eyes, but it's stronger than me. The void draws you in. It's like the desire to look into the abyss and find out what lies within. But in this abyss, there is nothing. Only darkness. Only endless gloom that spreads out, capturing your thoughts, consuming your consciousness. I feel that with each passing day I am losing myself. My memory is becoming blurred, my thoughts are confused. Moments of silence are becoming rarer, and I am increasingly hearing strange voices whispering something to me in an unknown language. Maybe it's the language of gods or demons, or maybe it's just my own mind surrendering to madness. Please, if anyone reads this, do not look it in the eyes. If you see the watcher run, don't look back, because in its eyes there is only emptiness, and in the emptiness nothing. And perhaps when I look into its eyes for the last time, I too will become a part of this emptiness. Perhaps this is my fate, to become an eternal part of this ancient temple, to disappear among the living mountains that watch over me. And then I too will wait like them. Wait for someone else to wander in here by accident, to become a new guest, a new victim. I can feel the watcher getting closer. My time is running out. I can't go on. I have to hide, or at least try. But if you ever hear a faint whisper among the mountains, if you feel something invisible watching you run, don't look back, and remember, don't look into the watcher's eyes. There is only emptiness there. This is my last entry. If you found it, beware.